as the floating of the national currency, the Kina and toea. This significant move was orchestrated by Sir Julius Chan, a prominent political figure and economist, who served as the country's prime minister and finance minister during critical periods. Understanding the rationale and implications behind this decision requires an exploration of the economic context of the time, the challenges faced, and the outcomes that ensued. Upon gaining independence in 1975, Papua New Guinea sought to establish its economic sovereignty. A cornerstone of this endeavor was the introduction of a national currency. As the nation's first finance minister, Sir Julius Chan played a crucial role in this transition, overseeing the replacement of the Australian dollar with the Kina and toea. This move was not merely symbolic, it was a declaration of economic independence, aiming to provide the country with greater control over its monetary policy and economic direction. In the years following independence, Papua New Guinea maintained a fixed exchange rate system for the Kina. However, by the early 1990s, the country was grappling with significant economic challenges. A combination of external economic pressures, declining commodity prices, and internal fiscal imbalances led to mounting economic instability. The fixed exchange rate system, which pegged the Kina to a basket of foreign currencies, became increasingly untenable. On October 4, 1994, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sir Julius Chan, the government made the bold decision to float the Kina. This move allowed the currency's value to be determined by market forces rather than a predetermined peg. The immediate impetus for this decision was a series of speculative attacks on the Kina, where international speculators had been selling significant amounts of the currency, leading to a depletion of foreign reserves and increased economic vulnerability. By floating the currency, the government aimed to let the Kina find its equilibrium in the market, reflecting the nation's trading position and economic fundamentals. Speculative pressure. In the months leading up to the float, the Kina faced significant speculative attacks. Speculators, anticipating a devaluation, sold off large amounts of Kina, exacerbating its decline in value. This speculative activity put immense pressure on the country's foreign reserves and threatened economic stability. Economic fundamentals. The fixed exchange rate did not accurately reflect the prevailing economic conditions. The country's trade balance, inflation rates, and other economic indicators suggested that the Kina was overvalued. Maintaining an overvalued currency can harm export competitiveness and lead to trade imbalances. Policy autonomy. A floating exchange rate provided the government with greater flexibility in implementing monetary and fiscal policies. It allowed for adjustments in response to external shocks and domestic economic conditions without the constraints imposed by a fixed exchange rate system. The decision to float the Kina was not without its challenges and controversies. There were concerns about how the market would respond and whether the banking system was prepared for such a transition. Commercial banks were particularly worried about reaching limit-long positions, a scenario where they would have to halt trading to protect their interests if buyers could not be found. There was also apprehension about potential inflationary effects, as a depreciating currency could lead to higher import prices, affecting the cost of living for the populace. In the immediate aftermath of the float, the Kina experienced a depreciation, settling at a lower value that more accurately reflected the country's economic conditions. While this led to increased import costs, it also enhanced the competitiveness of Papua New Guinea's exports, particularly in the agricultural and mining sectors. Over time, the floating exchange rate allowed the economy to adjust more fluidly to external shocks, such as fluctuations in commodity prices. Sir Julius Chan's decision to float the Kina was a testament to his pragmatic approach to economic management. It demonstrated a willingness to adopt flexible policies in response to evolving economic realities. While the move was met with criticism and concern at the time, it has since been recognized as a pivotal moment in the country's economic history, contributing to the resilience and adaptability of Papua New Guinea's economy. The floating of the Kina under Sir Julius Chan's leadership was a decisive action aimed at stabilizing Papua New Guinea's economy amidst internal and external challenges. By allowing the currency to find its market-driven value, the government addressed speculative attacks, corrected overvaluation, and gained greater policy flexibility. This move, while bold and fraught with risks, underscored the dynamic and responsive economic strategy that characterized Sir Julius Chan's tenure, leaving a lasting impact on the nation's economic trajectory. Prime Minister Marape declares a week of national mourning for the late Right Honourable Sir Julius Chan, GCL, GCMG, KBE, PC. Port Moresby, January 30, 2025, Prime Minister Honourable James Marape, MP, has declared a week of national mourning to honour the life and legacy of Right Honourable Sir Julius Chan, GCL, GCMG, KBE, PC, following his passing today. In recognition of Sir Julius's immense contributions to the nation, the government of Papua New Guinea will organize a formal state funeral, with the date to be confirmed in consultation with his family and the New Ireland provincial government. Prime Minister Marape described Sir Julius as a towering statesman, whose service to Papua New Guinea spanned decades of political and economic transformation. Sir Julius Chan was not just a leader, he was a statesman of great wisdom and resilience, a man who dedicated his life to the service of our country, Prime Minister Marape said. As Papua New Guinea's second Prime Minister, he shaped the trajectory of our nation's economy and governance. His contributions will never be forgotten. To officially acknowledge Sir Julius's passing, the Prime Minister has invited all national leaders to a solemn gathering at 6 p.m. today at the Parliament precinct. We will observe a moment of silence and reflect on his legacy, Prime Minister Marape stated. I urge all leaders in Port Moresby to attend this gathering as a mark of respect for Sir Julius Chan. Sir Julius's passing comes as Prime Minister Marape was preparing to launch Papua New Guinea's 50th anniversary celebrations at Parliament today. To honor his memory, the Prime Minister has directed that the scale and tone of the celebrations be adjusted to reflect this period of national mourning. As we prepare to officially launch Papua New Guinea's 50th anniversary celebrations today, I have instructed Minister Justin Kachenko and the organizing committee to scale down the celebrations in honor of Sir Julius Chan, Prime Minister Marape announced. As part of these adjustments, there will be no fireworks. Celebratory events will be toned down to allow for a period of reflection. A special tribute will be compiled, featuring historic footage of Sir Julius Chan and Grand Chief Sir Michael Samar, honoring their role in Papua New Guinea's independence. This tribute will serve as a time of remembrance and respect as we reflect on the monumental contributions of these great men, Prime Minister Marape added. Prime Minister Marape described Sir Julius as one of the last great leaders of Papua New Guinea's independence era, noting that his wisdom and experience helped guide the country through critical moments in its history. Sir Julius's passing is a moment of deep reflection for our nation. He was part of a generation of leaders who took this country forward from colonial rule to self-governance. His leadership, vision, and dedication will be remembered as we continue the work of building Papua New Guinea. End.